Billionaire catches wife abusing black maid's child. Her vile secret is now exposed. The sharp click of Sophia's designer heels resonated through the opulent penthouse in Manhattan before the harsh thud of a small body against the wall. "You worthless little pest," she snarled. "How many times do I have to warn you not to touch my things?" Michael Harrington paused at the entrance to the lavish living room, keys to his luxury SUV still in hand. His board meeting had wrapped up 2 hours early, and he'd rushed home to unwind with his family on this Friday afternoon. What he witnessed froze him in place. Zuri, just 8 years old, huddled in the corner, tears cascading down her face as she clutched shards from a shattered antique crystal vase. A fresh bruise bloomed on her leg where Sophia had kicked her. Michael had known Zuri since she was a toddler. Aisha, her mother, had been the family's maid for nearly a decade, even before his marriage. The girl was always bright, helpful, and eager, tagging along during school breaks. If you're wondering how a savvy tycoon could miss the signs for so long, be sure to subscribe to the channel for the full reveal. And drop a comment below. Where are you watching from, and what time is it there? Sophia's foot, clad in those red-soled Louboutins he'd bought her for their anniversary, reared back for another kick. "Do you have any idea how much that vase is worth, you little brat?" she hissed, her manicured nails pointing like daggers. "More than your mom scrapes together in a year scrubbing my floors and toilets." Michael's stomach churned. He'd known Zuri since she was knee-high to a grasshopper. Aisha, her mom, had been with the family for damn near a decade, back when Michael's first marriage was still holding together by a thread. Aisha was solid, reliable, discreet, the kind of help that kept the penthouse running like a well-oiled machine. During school breaks, Zuri would tag along, her big eyes soaking up the place like a sponge. The kid was sharp as a tack, always asking questions about the skyline, drawing pictures of the buildings Michael owned. He'd even caught her once mimicking his phone calls, pretending to close a deal on a toy skyscraper. Cute as hell. "Please, Mrs. Sophia," Zuri whimpered, her voice barely above a whisper, trembling like a leaf in a storm. "I was just trying to help dust. It slipped when I heard the door slam." "Liar!" Sophia's hand shot up, poised to strike. That's when Michael's blood boiled over. It wasn't just rage. It was a cold, hard slap of realization. For 3 years, Sophia had been the picture-perfect wife, all smiles at galas, dropping the right names at cocktail parties, playing the gracious hostess to his business cronies. But now, alone, or so she thought, with a defenseless kid. This was the real her, unmasked and ugly as sin. "Sophia!" Michael's voice sliced through the air, low and steady, like the calm before a hurricane. She whipped around, her face morphing in a split second from twisted fury to wide-eyed innocence. "Michael, honey, I didn't hear you come in. This girl just shattered that baccarat vase your mother gifted us. I was just—" He ignored her, his eyes locked on Zuri. The kid shrank back further, her body language screaming volumes. Arms wrapped tight around her knees, shoulders hunched like she'd taken hits before. Michael's years in boardrooms had honed his radar for bullshit, reading tells, spotting weaknesses. What he saw here wasn't a one-off screw-up. It was fear, deep-rooted and familiar. "Zuri," he said softly, crouching down but keeping his distance, not wanting to spook her more. "You okay, kiddo?" She glanced nervously between him and Sophia, then nodded. But it was the kind of nod that said everything but yes. A thin line of blood trickled down her shin, pooling on the hardwood. "Where's your mom?" Michael asked, his tone gentle, like coaxing a skittish investor. "Out grabbing supplies from the bodega," Zuri murmured, her voice so small it nearly vanished in the vast room. Sophia cleared her throat, stepping forward with that practiced poise. "Michael, you're blowing this out of proportion. It was an accident, and I was teaching her to be careful. Kids these days—" But Michael tuned her out, his focus on the girl. There was something off in Zuri's eyes, a wariness no 8-year-old should carry, like she'd learned to tiptoe around landmines. He felt a knot twist in his chest. How the hell had this been brewing under his roof? Michael's world tilted on its axis, the penthouse's sleek lines blurring as rage bubbled up like bad coffee. Sophia, his trophy wife who charmed every venture capitalist from Wall Street to Silicon Valley, now looked like a cornered cat, claws out but scrambling for cover. "Michael, you're blowing this out of proportion," she repeated, her voice pitching up an octave, that fake surprise melting into something sharper. "It was an accident, and I was teaching her to be careful. Kids these days think they can run wild." He shot her a look that could freeze bourbon, but his attention snapped back to Zuri. The kid's tears carved tracks down her face, her little body shaking like she'd just stepped off a roller coaster from hell. Michael knelt closer, ignoring the crunch of crystal under his loafers. "Zuri, talk to me. What happened here? For real?" Sophia's heels clicked as she edged forward, trying to insert herself like a bad pop-up ad. "Honey, she's just a kid spinning yarns to dodge trouble. You know how they are, always playing the victim card." Zuri's eyes darted to Sophia, wide with that gut-punch fear Michael recognized from hostile takeovers, the kind where someone's about to lose everything. I didn't mean to break it, Mr. Michael," she stammered, her voice cracking like thin ice. "I was dusting like Mom showed me. Mrs. Sophia came in yelling about the TV being too loud, and I jumped. My hand slipped." "Loud TV, that's your story?" Sophia scoffed, crossing her arms over her silk blouse, nails tapping like a countdown timer. "You were goofing around pretending that vase was some kind of toy. These kids have zero respect for what's valuable." Michael's jaw tightened. He'd closed billion-dollar deals on gut instinct, and right now, it screamed bullshit. Zuri's posture, the way she flinched at Sophia's every word, how her hands twisted in her lap like she was bracing for impact, told a different tale. This wasn't a one-time blow-up. "Zuri, has this happened before? Mrs. Sophia getting upset like this?" The room went dead quiet, save for the distant hum of city traffic 30 floors below. Sophia laughed, a brittle sound that echoed off the marble counters. "Oh, come on, Michael. You're grilling an 8-year-old like she's on the stand? She's fine. Just a scrape. Kids bounce back." But Zuri's lower lip quivered and she whispered, "Sometimes, when Mom's out running errands, Mrs. Sophia says I gotta learn my place 'cause kids like me ain't supposed to touch fancy stuff." "Kids like you?" Michael echoed, his voice dropping low, a storm brewing in his chest. He glanced at Sophia, whose face had gone poker stiff, that innocent mask cracking at the edges. "Yeah," Zuri continued, gaining a sliver of steam, her small fist clenching. "She says people with skin like mine are lucky to even be in a place like this, that I should stick to helping Mom clean and not pretend I'm part of the family. Last time she made me scrub the floor on my knees because I spilled juice. Said it builds character for my kind." Michael felt a white-hot flash sear through him, like touching a live wire. "Your kind?" He whipped his head toward Sophia, who was now fidgeting with her diamond necklace, avoiding his gaze like it was the IRS. "What the hell does that mean, Sophia?" She waved it off, forcing a chuckle that fell flat. "Michael, darling, you're twisting her words. I was just explaining boundaries. Aisha's great, but her daughter's got to learn responsibility. You can't let them think everything's a free ride." "Them?" Michael's tone sharpened, slicing through her excuses. He stood up, towering over the scene, his mind racing back through 3 years of blind spots. Sophia's offhand comments at dinner parties about keeping the help in line, the way Zuri always went quiet when she entered the room. How had he missed it? Buried in mergers and acquisitions, chasing the next big score, while this poison festered right under his nose. Zuri wiped her nose on her sleeve, peeking up at him. "Please don't tell Mom, Mr. Michael. Mrs. Sophia said if I snitch, Mom loses her job and we end up on the street. She said nobody hires people like us without a good word from folks like her." Sophia's eyes narrowed, a flicker of real panic breaking through. "That's not what I meant. She's exaggerating to save her skin. Kids do that." "Enough!" Michael cut her off, his voice a whip crack. He pulled out his phone, thumb hovering over the camera app, documenting the mess. The broken vase, Zuri's bruised knee, the tear-streaked face. Evidence. Because if this was the tip of the iceberg, he was damn well going to sink the whole ship. Sophia stepped closer, her perfume cloying in the tense air. Michael, let's talk this out like adults. No need to go nuclear over a clumsy kid. But he wasn't listening. His focus locked on Zuri, who finally met his eyes, a spark of hope flickering amid the fear. For the first time, Michael saw the real damage. Not just the cut, but the invisible scars from words that cut deeper than any kick. Michael pocketed his phone, the click of the camera app still echoing in his head like a gavel. Sophia's excuses hung in the air, thick and phony as cheap cologne. Michael, let's not turn this into a circus, she pressed, her voice dipping into that honey-sweet tone she used on caterers at parties. She's a kid. Kids fib to wiggle out of hot water. He spun on her, eyes narrowing like he was sizing up a shady contractor. Fib? She's got a bruise the size of a baseball, Sophia, and you're standing there like it's no big deal. His words came out clipped, each one a jab. Inside his mind raced. 3 years of this woman in his bed, at his side during investor dinners, and he'd bought her act hook, line, and sinker. Sophia tossed her hair, that platinum blonde wave she'd spent a fortune on at the salon. You're acting like I beat her senseless. It was a kick reflex. She broke a priceless heirloom. Someone's got to lay down the law around here. Lay down the law, Michael echoed, stepping between her and Zuri like a human shield. This isn't a courtroom, and she's not on trial. Back off. He waved her toward the kitchen island, putting space between them. Sophia huffed but retreated, perching on a stool with arms crossed, her lips pursed like she'd sucked a lemon. Turning back to Zuri, Michael softened his stance, dropping to one knee again. The kid's eyes were puffy, red-rimmed, but she didn't bolt. Progress. Hey, champ, it's just you and me now. No one's getting in trouble for talking. How long has Mrs. Sophia been rough like this? Zuri bit her lip, glancing at Sophia's silhouette in the background. Since you guys got hitched, I think. Mom says 3 years, but it got worse when I started coming more often. Her voice wobbled, but she pushed on like a dam cracking. She yells when you're at work, calls me names, says if I mess up, she'll fire Mom and tell everyone she stole stuff, like jewelry or cash. Mom can't get another gig without a thumbs up from rich folks like you. Michael's gut twisted, a cold sweat breaking on his neck. Stole stuff? Jesus, Zuri. What else? Give me the play-by-play. She makes me do extra chores, scrubbing toilets with a toothbrush once, 'cause I laugh too loud watching cartoons. Says kids like me gotta earn our keep, not act like we own the place. Zuri's fingers traced patterns on the rug, avoiding his gaze. And the color stuff. She says dark skin means we're at the bottom of the barrel, that we should be grateful for scraps from white people like her. Last week, she hid a necklace in Mom's bag as a test, said if we squeal, we're toast. The words landed like punches, each one knocking the wind out of him. Michael flashed back to snippets he'd ignored. Sophia's jokes about affirmative action at brunch, her eye rolls when Aisha asked for time off. He'd chalked it up to stress, to her upbringing in that snooty Connecticut crowd. But this was a full-blown regime, terrorizing a mom and a kid right in his own damn home. Bottom of the barrel, he muttered, fist clenching until his knuckles whitened. That's not how it works, Zuri, not in my house. He reached out, hesitant, and patted her shoulder lightly. She didn't flinch this time. Small win. From the kitchen, Sophia piped up, her voice carrying like a bad echo. Michael, you're buying into her tall tales? She's playing you like a fiddle. Kids learn that crap from TV. Shut it, Sophia, he snapped over his shoulder, not even looking. His focus stayed on Zuri, who was now sitting up straighter, like unloading the weight had given her some spine. That's when the front door buzzed, the security system chiming as Aisha swiped her keycard. Bags rustled in the hallway, followed by hurried footsteps. Mr. Michael, Zuri, everything okay? Aisha called, her accent thick with that East African lilt, worry threading through like a pulled string. She rounded the corner into the living room, arms loaded with grocery sacks, cleaning supplies poking out the top. Her eyes locked on Zuri first, the bruise, the tears, the shattered vase. Then to Sophia, perched like a queen on her throne, and finally to Michael, crouched on the floor. Aisha's face drained of color, her shoulders slumping as if bracing for a storm. Zuri, baby, what happened? Aisha dropped the bags with a thud, rushing over and pulling her daughter into a hug. Zuri buried her face in her mom's shirt, mumbling something muffled. Michael stood, watching the scene unfold. Aisha's hands trembled as she inspected the knee, her movements quick but gentle, like she'd done this drill before. And there it was, the same haunted look in her eyes that Zuri had. Controlled panic, the kind you see in folks walking a tightrope over sharks. How had he been so blind? Jet setting to closings in Dubai, schmoozing at Hampton's barbecues, while his home turned into a pressure cooker. Aisha, he said, keeping his voice even, we need to talk. This isn't just an accident. She glanced at Sophia, who shot her a warning glare. Subtle, but Michael caught it. Aisha swallowed hard, her Adam's apple bobbing. Mr. Michael, if Zuri caused trouble, I'm sorry. I'll pay for the vase. Take it out of my check. No, he cut in firmer. This is on Sophia, and from what Zuri's saying, it's been building for years. Threats, name-calling, the works. Aisha's eyes widened, flicking to her daughter, then back to him. Fear warred with relief on her face, like a poker player with a winning hand, but scared to flip the cards. Years. Yes, but we need this job. Single mom, no papers straight yet. It's tough out there. Michael nodded, the pieces clicking like a bad puzzle. Sophia's perfect facade, crumbling. And the rot underneath, deeper than he thought. Curiosity gnawed at him now. What else had she hidden? How far did this go? Michael held up a hand, signaling Sophia to zip it as Aisha knelt beside Zuri, her fingers gently probing the bruise like a mom bear checking her cub. Aisha, sit tight. This isn't on you or Zuri. Sophia's the one who crossed the line, big time. His voice stayed level, but inside fury churned like a nor'easter brewing off the coast. Aisha's eyes flicked to Sophia again, that warning glare hanging like a noose. She straightened up, pulling Zuri closer, her body a shield. Mr. Michael, please. We've got bills stacking up. Rent in Queens ain't cheap, and Zuri's school supplies. I can't afford drama. Drama? Michael leaned against the couch, arms crossed, his Rolex catching the afternoon sun. This ain't drama. This is straight-up abuse. Zuri spilled some beans already. Threats, name-calling, the racial crap. I need the full picture. No holding back. Sophia snorted from her perch. Full picture? You're turning my home into a therapy session. Aisha, tell him it's nothing. Just tough love. Aisha's jaw tightened, her dark skin flushing under the strain. She glanced at Zuri, who nodded subtly, that kid's courage kicking in. Tough love, Mrs. Sophia, with all due respect, it's been hell. The words tumbled out, slow at first, like pulling teeth. Started right after the wedding. Little digs at first. Know your place, Aisha. Then it ramped up with Zuri around. She'd snap if Zuri touched anything. Call her a dirty little damaged leather goods. Wait, that's spoiled black kid in English. Said girls like her end up in dead-end jobs. So better learn humility now. Michael's pulse hammered in his ears. Spoiled? The kid helps you clean for free. Keep going. Zuri chimed in, her voice gaining steam. Yeah, Mom. Remember Christmas? Mrs. Sophia gave me a mop as a gift. Said it's what people like us are good for. Cleaning for rich white folks. Made me clean the whole kitchen while she sipped wine and laughed. Aisha nodded, tears welling but not spilling. She was tough, immigrant grit forged in fire. That's mild. She's hidden stuff in my purse, earrings, cash, to test me. Threatens to call the cops, say I stole it. Who's gonna believe a black maid over me, she says. And the class stuff, non-stop. You're lucky I let you in this penthouse. Without me, you'd be back in Africa scrubbing dirt floors. Zuri hears it all, and it sticks. Kid comes home crying, asking why her skin makes her less than. Michael paced now, his loafers thudding on the hardwood, mind flashing to boardroom battles where he'd crushed rivals with facts and figures. But this hit personal, like a knife twist. Jesus, Aisha, 3 years of this poison, why not bail? Where to? Aisha shot back, fire in her eyes for the first time. Green cards pending. Jobs like this? Rare for someone like me. No fancy degrees, just hard work. She dangles references like carrots, yanks them with sticks. Last month, Zuri spilled milk. An honest mistake. Sophia made her kneel and lap it up, saying, "That's how animals clean messes. Kids ate, for God's sake." Zuri tugged her mom's sleeve. "And the time she locked me in the pantry? 'Cause I asked for a snack. Said beggars can't be choosers. And that black kid's got to earn every bite." Michael stopped cold, bile rising in his throat. Images assaulted him. Sophia at charity galas, posing for photos with underprivileged kids, all smiles for the cameras. Hypocrite. Locked you in. That's not discipline. That's torture. He rubbed his temples, the weight crashing down. How had he married this monster? Blinded by her looks, her connections, and her role as the perfect power couple accessory. Sophia jumped in, voice pitching desperately. Lies. All of it. They're ganging up because they know you're a softie, Michael. Bleeding heart for the help. Softie? He rounded on her, voice booming. I'm the guy who built an empire from scratch. But this racist bullshit in my own home? No way. Determination solidified like concrete. He couldn't let this slide. Not for Zuri's sake, not for his own conscience. Pulling out his phone again, he stepped away, thumbing through contacts while keeping an eye on the room. Sophia eyed him warily, but he ignored her. There. Ella, Sophia's personal assistant. The mousy 20-something who'd been with them a year was always jumpy around the boss lady. Rumors of Sophia's tantrums had trickled back, but Michael had brushed them off as office gossip. He texted quickly. Need to talk. Urgent. About Sophia. Meet me at the coffee shop downstairs in 10, Ella replied almost instantly. On my way. Finally? Michael slipped the phone back, heart pounding. Aisha, Zuri, hang tight in the guest room. Ice that knee, grab some snacks. We're sorting this. As they shuffled off, Aisha whispering thanks, Michael cornered Sophia. You stay put. We're not done. She smirked, but it wobbled. What, calling your lawyers? Over a brat and her mom? He didn't bite, heading for the elevator. Down in the lobby cafe, Ella waited, nursing a latte, her eyes darting like a deer in headlights. Mr. Harrington, what's up? Sophia's abusing Aisha and Zuri. Racial slurs, threats, the works. Have you seen it? Ella's face crumpled, relief flooding out. God, yes. She's a nightmare. Yells at me too, calls me white trash when pissed. Fired the last PA for looking at her wrong. Michael leaned in. I need proof. Her calls with her mom, their daily rants. Can you bug her phone? Set up a recorder app? Something discreet? Ella hesitated, biting her nail. That's risky. Wiretapping? Not if it's my house, my tech. And I'll make it worth your while. 50 grand cash, plus a glowing reference for your next gig. Her eyes widened. 50? Deal. I can install it remotely. She's got me on her iCloud for scheduling. Give me an hour. Michael nodded, adrenaline surging. Do it. Stream to my secure drive. We're nailing her. Back upstairs, the plan locked in. He felt the shift. From shock to strategy. Sophia's reign of terror? Over. But the horrors they'd spilled, they'd fuel the fire. Michael stormed back into the penthouse, the elevator ding echoing like a starting gun. Sophia lounged on the sectional, scrolling her phone like nothing had blown up. She glanced up, arching a perfectly plucked brow. Back so soon? Coffee run turn into a pity party? He slammed the door, veins popping in his neck. Cut the crap, Sophia. Aisha and Zuri are spilling everything. The threats, the racial slurs, the mind games. 3 years. You've been running a damn torture chamber while I'm out building our life. She set her phone down, crossing her legs with that cool-as-ice vibe she pulled at board dinners. Our life. Please. You're always glued to your deals, Michael. Someone's got to keep order here. Aisha's fine, but that kid needs boundaries. You can't let the helps Spawn think they're equals. Spawn? Michael barked a laugh, bitter as black coffee. She's 8 for fuck's sake. And help? Aisha's family has been here longer than you. What boundaries? Locking her in pantries? Calling her damaged leather goods? Sophia shrugged, twirling a lock of hair. Exaggerations. I was teaching respect. In my world, you learn young or get eaten alive. Her mom's too soft. Lets her run wild. I'm the lady of the house. It's my job to enforce standards. He paced the room, fists balled, mind whirring like a stock ticker on steroids. Standards? This was straight-up bigotry, wrapped in designer labels. He whipped out his notepad app, thumbs flying as he jotted notes. Threats, racial comments, specific incidents, evidence. Cold, hard, like the contracts he shredded, bad deals with. Standards, he repeated, voice dripping sarcasm. Like hiding jewelry to frame Aisha? Or telling Zuri her skin makes her trash? That's not education. That's hate. Sophia's eyes flashed, but she leaned back, composing herself with a deep breath. Hate? Dramatic much? It's a reality check. Aisha's a maid. Immigrant. No connections. Zuri's headed the same way. Cruel to fill her head with dreams. I'm prepping her for the real world. Know your lane. Stay grateful. White privilege? It's earned. They get handouts. We build empires. Michael's stomach flipped. Earned. Her daddy's trust fund had bankrolled her charity gigs. He kept his cool, though, poker face honed from billion-dollar negotiations. No tipping his hand yet. And you decided this solo? In my home? Your home? She laughed a sharp bark. I've run this place for 3 years. Hiring, firing, setting rules. You never cared about the details. Too busy chasing the next skyscraper. He paused, the truth stinging like a slap. She was right. He delegated the domestic BS, trusted her polish. But now, memories flooded. Aisha's tense vibes at holidays, Zuri's sudden shyness, blind spots, big as Central Park. Fine, he said, forcing calm. But if I disagree with your methods? Sophia studied him, calculating like a shark smelling blood. Michael, honey, think twice. Aisha's loyal, but stirs her trouble. Plenty of desperate folks out there needing work. And us? We've got images to protect. Galas, boards. Divorce over this? Messy. Threats, veiled but sharp. Michael's blood boiled, but he nodded, playing along. Maybe you're right. Let's cool off. She smiled, victorious, grabbing her phone. Good boy. I've got a mani-pedi in an hour. We can talk later. As she sauntered to the bedroom, Michael slipped into his study, locking the door. He dialed quickly. Rachel Klein, his go-to civil rights attorney from those corporate diversity audits. She picked up on the second ring. Harrington? Friday afternoon. Must be bad. Worse, he whispered, glancing at the door. Abuse in my house. Racial, psychological, on an 8-year-old and her mom. My wife. Silence then. Shit. Details. He spilled it. Zuri's bruise, the stories, the threats. Rachel whistled low. Strong case for harassment, discrimination, emotional damage too. Document everything. Record conversations from now on. I'll draft protective orders, but get proof. Escalation likely when she senses heat. Already on it, Michael said, his phone buzzing. Ella's text. App installed. Streams to your drive. Her mom's calling now. Adrenaline spiked. He opened the secure link, audio crackling to life. Sophia's voice mid-rant. That little black brat and her mom are spinning tales, Mom. Michael's buying it hook, line, and sinker. But I've got this. Years of keeping them in line. Michael's breath hitched. He hit record, leaning in. Her mom's voice tinny. Sophia, you're too hard. Employees are people. People? Sophia scoffed. They're tools. That kid needs to know her place. Damaged leather goods like hers will flip burgers forever. I intimidate 'em easy. Threaten the job. Plant evidence. Keeps 'em submissive. Michael's hands shook. Submissive? This was her playbook. And Michael? Her mom pressed. Clueless. Buried in work. But if he pushes, I've got leverage. Been screwing his driver, Marco. That hunk with the muscles? Hotter than Michael's boardroom BS. Plan set. Fake docs, transfer assets, bail with Marco, leave him with nada. The room spun. Outer affair? With Marco, the guy who'd chauffeured them to events? Michael's mind reeled. Late nights she'd worked. Marco's smirks. Betrayal hit like a freight train. Sophia laughed. Rich guys are suckers. Provoke 'em, document the rage, score alimony. And the kid? Priceless ammo. Paint him as unstable for defending those people. Michael killed the audio, fury morphing to ice-cold resolve. Proof, gold. He texted Ella. Got it. Bonus incoming. Rachel pinged back. Send the file. We'll bury her. Plan locked. Go live on LinkedIn. Expose the snake. Sophia thought she had him cornered. Wrong. Time to strike. Michael's fingers flew across his tablet, heart jackhammering like a drill on concrete. The study door stayed locked. Sophia none the wiser in the living room, probably primping for her fake-ass appointment. He opened LinkedIn, his profile a powerhouse. 60,000 connections, CEOs, investors, the whole New York elite circus. Live stream setup, private at first, then boom. Public. He synced Ella's feed. The audio crystal clear. Rachel's text buzzed. Green light. Nail her. He hit record, then went live. The viewer count ticked up slowly, dozens, then hundreds. Notifications pinged. Colleagues tuning in, curious about the unscheduled urgent update. Michael muted his mic, letting Sophia's voice blast like a grenade. Anowam, and that black brat? Easy pickings. Sophia cackled on the call, her mom's murmurs egging her on. Threaten the mom's job, wave some planted bling, bam, they're muzzled. Kids from that crowd fold like cheap suits. Just remind them their color puts them at the bottom. Zuri? Pathetic. I make her scrub till her knees bleed. Teach her she's just made material. Viewers surged, 1,000 now. Comments exploded. WTF? Is this real? Michael's gut twisted, but he held steady, watching the train wreck unfold. Sophia kept digging her grave. Marco? Oh, Mom, he's a beast. Better in bed than Michael ever was. That driver's been my side piece for months. Plans gold. Forge papers. Get Michael to sign off on investments, then split with Marco. Leave the sucker bankrupt, crying over his empire. Rich guys, predictable chumps, poke 'em, record the meltdown, cash in on divorce. 2,500 viewers. Michael's face burned, betrayal slicing deep. Marco, the guy he'd tipped for fat bonuses, fists clenched, nails digging palms. But this? Ammo. Pure smoking gun gold. And the racial stuff, Sophia snorted. Necessary. Damaged leather goods like Zuri need to know their lane. Cleaning for us whites. Society's hierarchy, baby. I run that house like a boss. Fire who I want, break who I need. Michael's too soft. He thinks everyone's equal. Ha! If he defends those leeches, I'll spin him as unhinged, grab half his fortune. The stream hit 5,000. Phones blew up. Texts from board members. Michael, you okay? Exposing her life? Ballsy. Comments rage. Racist, bitch. Call the cops. LinkedIn alerts flooded. Shares, reposts, the elite grapevine on fire. Sophia's phone voice ramped up. Years of setup, Mom. Provoked his temper. Documented instability. Add the Maid drama? Slam dunk? He'll learn. Mess with my control. Pay the price. Michael's tablet vibrated nonstop. Viewer count, 8,000. Then the dominoes tumbled. Email from the New York Women's Support Fund. Sophia Harrington terminated effective immediately. Zero tolerance for discrimination. Ping, Hampton's Golf Club. Membership revoked. Conduct unbecoming. More, 3 charities yanking her name. Sponsors bailing like rats off a sinking ship. He unmuted briefly, voice steel. Folks, this is live from my home. My wife's words, her schemes. Proofs here. Abuse, racism, fraud. Stay tuned. Sophia, oblivious, sealed her fate. The funniest? That kid fears me like the boogeyman. Intimidated with skin color and poverty. Works every time. Submissive as hell. Michael's empire. Mine soon. Hightail with Marco, live large. 10,000 viewers. Chaos erupted. Michael's lawyer texted, cops en route. Warrants for fraud and abuse. Social media tags lit up. Sophia exposed trending. Screenshots viral. Business contacts severed ties. No association. Her friends ghosted. Reputations tanking by proxy. Michael watched the fallout, a grim satisfaction settling in. Sophia's perfect world shattered. He stepped out, tablet in hand, stream still rolling. She lounged, phone to ear, mid-laugh. Sophia, he said, voice cutting like glass. She turned, face paling at the tablet's glow, viewer count flashing 15,000. What the? Live, he said, thrusting it forward. Your audience, dear. Board directors, charities, the works. They heard it all. Abuse, affair, plot to rob me blind. Her phone slipped, crashing to the floor. Mom's voice squawked. Sophia, what's happening? Color drained from her cheeks, eyes darting like a trapped animal. This misunderstanding, out of context. Context? Michael barked. You bragged about torturing a kid, screwing my driver, and scheming to fleece me. Live to thousands. She staggered back, clutching the couch. Notifications hammered. More cancellations. Outrage pouring in. My foundation spot. Gone, she whispered, phone buzzing with kill shots. Police sirens wailed below, blue lights flashing up the windows. Michael's phone rang. NYPD. Mr. Harrington, we're here. Investigation open. Child abuse. Racial discrimination. Marital fraud. Stand by. Sophia collapsed into a chair, mask crumbling, tears streaking mascara. Michael, please, turn it off. He didn't. Viewers hit 20,000. Her downfall? Broadcast live, irreversible. The Viper unmasked, fangs bared for all to see. Satisfaction burned hot. Justice, raw and real. The penthouse living room transformed into a makeshift courtroom, the air thick with tension like a summer storm about to break. Michael stood tall, tablet still streaming, viewer count skyrocketing past 25,000. Sirens wailed closer, cop cars screeching to a halt downstairs. Sophia huddled in the armchair, her designer outfit rumpled, face a mask of smeared makeup and dawning horror. Aisha and Zuri emerged from the guest room, drawn by the commotion, Aisha's arm protectively around her daughter's shoulders. Sophia, Michael said, voice steady as a judge's gavel. It's over. The world's seen the real you. Abuser, cheater, fraud. Cops are here for the rest. She lurched forward, grabbing his sleeve, nails digging in like claws. Michael, wait! Turn that damn thing off. It's the pressure, okay? High society, keeping up appearances. I didn't mean half of it. Blame the stress, the expectations. We can fix this. Therapy, whatever. Fix? Michael yanked away, disgust curling his lip. You tortured a kid, slept with my driver, and plotted to bankrupt me. Stress? That's your excuse? Zuri stepped out from behind her mom, chin up, eyes locked on Sophia for the first time without flinching. The bruise on her knee peeked from under the bandage, but her voice rang clear, no tremor. You're a bully, Mrs. Sophia, and bullies only act tough when nobody's watching. Now, everybody knows. Sophia recoiled like she'd been slapped, mouth gaping. You little... Watch it, Michael growled, stepping between them. Aisha pulled Zuri close, tears streaming down her cheeks, but they were different now, relief mixed with pride, her body shaking as she hugged her daughter tight. Mr. Michael, Aisha whispered, voice cracking, thank you. From the bottom of my heart. You didn't have to, but you did. Freed us from that nightmare. He nodded, a lump forming in his throat. Should have seen it sooner, Aisha. My bad. But from here on, your job's rock solid, raise included. And Zuri, I'm setting up a scholarship fund. Full ride, college, whatever she dreams. No more scraping by. Zuri's eyes lit up, a real smile breaking through the trauma. Really, like, for school. I want to be an architect. Build big buildings like yours. You got it, kid, Michael said, ruffling her hair gently. Sky's the limit. Sophia watched the exchange, face twisting into a snarl. You're ruining everything over them? A maid and her brat? Think, Michael. Our life. The status. Divorce me? You'll regret it. He turned, eyes cold as steel. Regret? The only thing I regret is marrying you. Lawyers are drafting papers now. You get nothing. Prenups ironclad. No alimony, no assets. And society? They've already dumped you like yesterday's trash. Her phone buzzed nonstop. Texts, emails, voicemails piling up like wreckage. The fund? They fired me? The club? Revoked? My friends? She scrolled frantically, color leaching from her face. No, no, this can't be. Knocks thundered at the door. NYPD, badges flashing through the peephole. Michael opened up, 2 officers stepping in, cuffs ready. Sophia Harrington, you're under arrest for child abuse, racial discrimination, and conspiracy to commit fraud. Hands where we can see 'em. She bolted up wild-eyed. This is a setup. Michael's framing me. Save it, one cop said, snapping cuffs on. We've got the stream, recordings, and witness statements. You're done. As they hauled her toward the elevator, Sophia twisted back, spitting venom. You'll pay for this, Michael. My lawyers. Your lawyers, he chuckled darkly. They're jumping ship, too. Check your inbox. The doors slid shut on her screams, leaving silence in their wake. Michael killed the stream, viewer count frozen at 30,000 plus. His phone exploded, reporters clamoring for interviews, networks pitching exclusives. Justice for Zuri trended, memes roasting, Sophia went viral. Editorials hailed him as a whistleblower, exposing rot in the upper crust. Aisha sank onto the couch, Zuri curling into her side. What now, Mr. Michael? The media. They'll swarm. Let 'em, he said, sinking into a chair, exhaustion hitting like a wave. This story's bigger than us. Symbol of fighting back against racism, abuse, the whole rigged game. I'll handle the press. You two? Take the week off, paid. Heal up. Aisha nodded, wiping her eyes. You're a good man. Proved it today. He shrugged, but inside, warmth spread. Real wealth, not the bank kind. Protecting the vulnerable, righting wrongs. As the sun dipped over Manhattan, casting golden hues through the windows, Michael glanced at Zuri, sketching a building on a napkin. Future bright, unscarred. Sophia's empire of lies? Crushed. Lost her fortune in the divorce blitz, assets frozen, society shunning her like a leper. Tabloids feasted. Socialites fall from grace. She faced trials, headlines screaming guilt. Michael? He emerged stronger, his rep burnished as a justice warrior. The tale spread like wildfire. Podcasts dissecting it, op-eds calling for checks on elite households. Truth triumphed, shadows banished. In the end, one man's stand proved, real power ain't status. It's doing right when it counts. In the end, this story hammers home a brutal truth. Prejudice and abuse of power thrive in the shadows, but they crumble when exposed by courage and unfiltered honesty, proving that real richness comes from defending justice, not hoarding status. Have you ever spotted hidden wrongs in your own circle or stood up against them? Drop your experiences or what you'd do in Michael's position down in the comments. Let's spark some real talk. Stick around for our next video, where we'll unpack another jaw-dropping saga of family secrets and epic comeuppance that hits even closer to home. Thanks a ton for watching and reflecting with me today. You make these stories matter. Catch you in the next one.